What's up, guys? Welcome to Crypto Cartel. We're here the day after Bitcoin broke 100K for the first time. Things are looking really good in the market. I mean, yesterday was a big liquidation, but other than that, all coins are looking really good. All coins are primed to get into what's commonly referred to as silly season, up only, alt season. And we're here to bring you the best altcoins in the market right now. So with that, let's get started, Alex.
All right, guys, welcome again. I know it's been some time we took off, but we're back at it again. 100K, like you said, what is it? Silly season.
Yes, that's a formal term.
Nice. All right, so let's take a look at Bitcoin. We had an incredible run. We did hit the 104 region. This is something that I set up a while back before you know for our pump. But essentially, I have all these lines, and these are support region lines. I know it can get a little messy, but it's very important to have these to be able to understand where price action could potentially go, and I'll get into that in a second. But essentially, I had this flag breakout to the 104, 105 region. That's exactly what we did, and just to kind of back test why I did uh, why I did what I did, right? Was essentially took the flag from here and we got up to that 104 region. It's not perfect, but that's where I got it from. And the bigger target would be this cup and handle that I've been looking at, that we've been doing it for quite some time now. So essentially, from the bottom to the top, it is giving me a target of about let's say like I'm being very cautious here. I'm doing like a 120, 115, but again, we could go higher than that. But those are the long term. That's the macro vision that I have for Bitcoin. Of course, in between there may be some sideways action, but I do want to look at that really quick. Let me pull out. Let me go into the let's see the monthly. Yeah, the monthly we're looking again mega bullish. We haven't gone all the way up to the top, right? If you look at the stochastics, we just got started from that flip, which then we breached 100K. Potentially I want to see something maybe like this. We go higher. But other than that, we're looking good in the macro in the monthly, and then I look at the 6 month usually. It's a good indicator for me. Let me get rid of these lines. I mean, that's a clean breakout. If we're looking at the 6 month stochastic, we're also just getting started. We could, I mean, we've been getting started since like January of earlier this year, of course, but we could go into the higher regions of maybe 80 or 90. We don't have that much data for Bitcoin, but overall, like I said, we're looking really, really bullish, and I'm expecting to see higher highs. Right now, let's get into the smaller time frames. The daily so far is looking really, really bullish. I know we had that nasty dump, but I think it was required for us to continue to the upside to have that sort of dump, which was about like a 10K dump in literally about an hour or so. And so what we're seeing here for the stochastics, again, really bullish. We're just getting started, and we just broke over 100K. RSI has a lot of momentum. Again, once we break this orange line and we continue to go higher, we should see higher highs. But again, this is also pushing to see if we're going to get into some bearish divergences, right? So that's something to keep an eye out on. Overall, let me put back my indicators here, or my charts. So looking at it in terms of in the smaller time frames, I did post something like this in the group, that this was a shoulder, head, and shoulder, but also we were making a flag. Clearly, we can ignore that flag that we had here just because it wasn't completed. So I'll get rid of that. And then what we have is essentially what we've been making is a bigger flag here that goes something like this, right? And we were about to break down from this. It was a nasty move, but what we did is we retested, probably got a lot of liquidation out of this, and then just pumped back to the upside. And again, we're looking healthy. But don't be surprised if we have some crazy moves like this, right? We went from 103 to 91K, which is kind of nuts, right? But again, we bounced back, no problem at all. Wouldn't surprise me if this is the no, it wasn't. It was even below that. But anyway, so we are looking bullish. We did a retest. We're breaking out again. Essentially, this retest would have been like down to here and then keep going. but we made it a little lower. Let's look at the 4 hour. Yeah, 4 hours looking bullish, and it looks like we want to go higher. And essentially, every single one of these frames is looking bullish. So it wouldn't surprise me if we start climbing back up into, the 110 region, and then maybe see some pullback at the 110. But it would be interesting to see if we break out of the 110 with strength. Then that's a good sign overall. But again, we're looking healthy. As of yesterday, I was a bit bearish because of that retest, but today it showed that we have a lot of strength to keep going higher, right? So that's just the BTC in a nutshell. I don't see any bearishness just yet, so I can't really speak to that. But if you are in our Telegram group, I will give updates, as I'm seeing potential bullish or bearish scenarios. And then, do you want to talk about Bitcoin, or do you want me to move into BTC dominance? Henry, what do you want to do?
Yeah, let me go into Bitcoin. So I'll quickly share my screen. Definitely agree with everything you said. I think yesterday was really the first test we've had, the first test of the bulls we've had in a long time, and they passed with flying colors, I'd say. And as Alex said, these types of liquidations are needed, especially when there's a lot of froth in the market, a lot of people basically just longing at the top, as most people do, as most people are not good traders. Do you see my screen, Alex?
Yep.
So essentially, what this definitely agree with every scenario Alex is putting out there, and I think the key thing, even if you're not trading Bitcoin, you want to know what the king is doing because it's going to affect alts, right? And Bitcoin needs to at least go sideways or up for alts to do well. Ideally, not go up too aggressively as it has. But what I was mostly watching yesterday is this line here, this purple line, the monthly open. And while we did wick below it due to all the cascading liquidations, I think there was the most liquidations since FTX yesterday.
Oh,
We
wow.
did have like a strong reaction, right, with this wick and above close above, retested monthly open, and now we're moving up again. So very strong reaction from the bulls. Definitely what you want to see. And I think worst case scenario is Bitcoin will go sideways now. It's either gonna, retest, continue its uptrend, or just start maybe bleeding sideways, like some chop, kind of like it did in the summer, which I think is fine at this point in the cycle and gives some room for altcoins to catch up. I think the downside, your risk reward now is like things look bullish as long as Bitcoin doesn't break this support here in the high 80s. So your downside is really like what 10%, which is not a lot for a volatile asset like Bitcoin, and your upside, like Alex said, is in the 120s to 130s, even higher than that, right? Depending on what continues to happen with flows. So Bitcoin's looking really good, and that really gives room for altcoins to start kind of shining. And one key metric we've been watching, at some of the streams that we did a few weeks ago is Bitcoin dominance. What percent of the market is Bitcoin? And we had marked out this region in the 60s as a potential top. I thought we might get one more push up until inauguration, but it looks like that has really, people have kind of front ran already and getting positioned for alt season basically. And with we're down 11% on BTC dominance, a complete breakdown of this uptrend, which is what you want to see if you from an alts perspective, right? So I don't really have much more to add to BTCD other than that. This uptrend has been broken, which means Bitcoin has now started a downtrend. You can see it try to recoup the channel here and failed. And basically now the playbook is just like last time when Bitcoin dominance broke down, right? In January 2021, these from January to like May, basically the top of the market when the whole market topped out, all coins went absolutely nuts, right? And maybe we can just pull up total three at the same time. So January, if we look at January 2021, right around here, the altcoin market essentially, wow, it went from 100 billion to this is crazy to 1 trillion. It 10x. So I don't know if we're going to see a 10x, but we're definitely starting to see the next price discovery phase for the market, right? So very bullish altcoins. And today, what we're going to talk about today is basically the market has kind of shown its hand of what the strong sectors are going to be. So I'm going to talk to you guys about what those strong sectors are. And at this point, you want to be in the leaders, right? And I really do believe that right now is like a make or break stage for alt season and for our portfolios as a whole. I think what we do in the next 2 months are going to determine whether you win big in this market or if you left some money on the table. So and one of the reasons for that is this indicator that has kind of told us when we're in alt season, it just crossed over to alt season, which means alts are a better opportunity than Bitcoin. And Miles here tweeted, last cycle, once we entered alt season territory, we stayed there for 88 days. So far this run, we've been there 5 days. This was a day ago, so 6 days now. The biggest gains come the longer we stay in the zone. And guys, when things start moving in alt season, they move pretty damn quick, and you don't get an entry. And to give you just a perspective of what the types of moves you can expect, just look at Ripple, right? Did nothing for years, literally years, sideways, chop down, bam, 4x, adding hundreds of billions to its market cap, right? And you want to be in either before or just as it's breaking out, and that's really what we're looking for here. So anything to add there, Alex?
No, I think that's spot on with the alt season.
Yeah, and the sectors that we've identified, we think are going to be long-term winners, where the most growth is in terms of where the biggest winners, best risk-reward opportunities are. And to me, it's pretty clear. AI agents, AI meme coins, whatever you want to call them, those as an opportunity represent the best risk-reward. And it's getting kind of saturated, but I think there's a good opportunity to bet on the leaders there. I also think gaming, we're going to talk about the leadership that we're seeing in gaming. And, if you're not aware, it's the sector that's been leading in the last 2 weeks, the top performing sector in the market. And I think meme coins, as Dino coins were running, meme coins got kind of rejected as well. So we're going to talk about the best meme coins there and how to play those. Yeah. So anything else to add there, Alex, before we move on to just looking at?
I think we're good. Yeah, we're looking good so far. Let's dive into it.
Awesome. So that's kind of our bird's eye view of the market. Now that we've kind of identified the top growth sectors, we want to know, I think there's still time to get positioned, right? Yes, some stuff has already made their moves, stuff has started to break out, but remember, Bitcoin dominance has a long way to fall. And what's happened now is a lot of people have made money with Bitcoin and some of the leading alts, and now they're going to go risk on mode, basically. And I've marked out this region. I'm actually going to set an alert here, 45, maybe another one here at 50 as well. And I think this is between the move here, where we're at now, I mean, basically from the top to this upper 40s level is where a lot of money is going to be made. So we're going to tell you guys where those sectors, where to really be placing your bets, right? So the first one we want to talk about is, obviously meme coins have been the star of the cycle. But if you look at the last month, gaming has really took some leadership, right? And, gaming's still one of the top performers. I mean, meme coins are still one of the top performers, but gaming is really starting to step into a leading role. And it is kind of like a later cycle movement. And if we're looking at flows also, we've been talking about Sui. Sui's been third in flows, $1 billion in the last 3 months. Solana has obviously been stealing flows from ETH, but Base has really been the big winner. And there's been kind of like this renaissance on Base due to the AI agent meta, right? So, I think when we first started the channel, we started covering goat, right? So maybe it's only right to start with goat, and that basically kicked off a whole new meta, which is this this like AI agent type coin, right? Which is a hybrid of like a meme coin mixed with some AI utility. And if you look at the size of the sector right now, like relative to just the amount of value that's going to come from AI and AI agents in the economy, to be sitting at 6 billion, I think this could easily 10 to 20x within the next like 3 to 6 months. Would you agree with that, Alex?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Like I said before, we talked about this just specifically on Goat. Goat is the Doge of AI,
Yeah.
right? Of AI memes. So we'll just leave it
Yeah.
at that.
It's the first, and the first is always the most powerful of the. It's usually stays the leader. It's very rare that it gets dethroned by a second comer. It can happen, but it's rare.
Right.
And I had a pretty good run. I think we called it on the channel around like 300 million, and it did a 4x up to excuse me, up to like 1.3 billion off some listings. And remember, these things move in cycles. Like you have the hype cycle, you have people piling in, the FOMO, and then something else pops up, and people attention shifts elsewhere, and then it drops to levels that I consider value, right? And you're this is where you get an opportunity to bet on it continuing to be a leader. But something I want to warn you guys about is, and we've actually caught a couple of these runners live on stream with new AI launches, right? AI meme coin launches. But you can see there's already 300 now being tracked by this cookie.fun AI agents index. It's getting quite saturated. So it's harder when it gets harder and harder to pick like new winners. Money tends to consolidate on the leaders, right? And if we look at the leaders by volume, you have Goat, Act, uh, Turbo, Zero Bro. I think anything from AI XBT and up. Bully's another one I want to take a look at, but it seems to be losing like mind share and definitely underperforming. But I think in terms of risk to reward, you might not get the most multiples, but Goat as a leader and having that mind share already in the market, I could easily see it going to 5 billion. And so we'll start with that one first. I think from a TA perspective, from this this wick down when it went from 500 million to below 200 million, it's had this crazy run up, and it broke. You can see it broke. It was in this bullish EMA trend, broke down on the 12-hour, which is a pretty significant time frame. Now you've had a bit of sideways and what I believe could be consolidation into the next leg. So I have this 0.5 here marked out, and if you're not familiar with fibs, flipping the 0.5 is a pretty bullish move. And I think we could have possibly seen the lows on GOAT already, at least the local lows, especially considering when Bitcoin wicked in the way it did yesterday. GOAT really didn't move much. I mean, it went down what 5-6%. So this to me seems like a pretty good risk reward area to either do a leverage long or just take an outright spot position and bet that this continues to be a leader. The other thing is none of these are listed on Coinbase, or I believe Goat's on Kraken already, but I have a pretty good feeling that Goat will be the first AI meme listed on Coinbase. And you have to think about what happened with Pepe and some of the first memes that got listed on Coinbase. They pumped almost immediately, so you want to be in before that. So from a TA perspective, I think anywhere above, I think your max downside is really, I don't see it's getting below 500 million, which is around 50 cents. And I think you could target a 10x, honestly. I mean, maybe more conservatively, even if you're just targeting 2 billion, that's still an awesome risk reward, especially if you're going in with like maybe small leverage. You don't want to go in with big leverage. So let's just do like a conservative, right? You think these lows hold, which I'm pretty sure they do, and you start targeting new highs at like 2 billion, very reasonable for one of the market leaders. That's a really good risk reward, over 10 to 1, and you're looking at uh, almost doubling your money. So, and anything to add to go, Alex?
Yeah. Let me take a quick look at Goat. But yeah, I mean, overall spot on. I mean, similar to you, I think that we did hit the lows, and I'll explain to you why in a second. But essentially, if you look at this flag that we were on, this falling wedge, right? You take the bottom to the top, you take that flag, and guess what? That's exactly where we went, right? It just took obviously the flag, their target's like 133, but it took about, let's see how long from the breakout. It took about, that's insane. It took about 2 weeks to reach target, right? And then what I did is I went ahead and I pulled in from impulse, right? Which our impulse was around this region here when we started making the higher highs, right? And yeah, I mean, we essentially almost touched the 786. It would not surprise me if we just start going sideways from here, right? Sideways, maybe some sort of deviation down to like the 50s, exactly like you said, like the 50 cent. And then from there, we continue to go back up, right? In terms of looking at it in, the stochastics, um, we've been pretty extended overall, and we haven't done much movement. This is what makes me believe that we may get another slight pullback, maybe down to the 62 region, 64. Again, lowest, like you said, I'd agree with that. The 50s, and worst comes to shove, a wick to the 46, 47. But overall, if you're pretty bullish on this would be a good region to start DCAing into. Let me take a look at this really quick. But overall, I like this price action. It's very clean. Um, yeah. We could potentially continue like a downtrend that looks something like this, right? Come lower, lower, maybe down to here and then rip. But again, this would be good areas to DCA. I wouldn't just ape all at once, because we are moving in a very interesting way here. But overall, I'm with you on this one. Pretty bullish to go into your price range that you did, your price range targets. Really quick, we have a question. It says on the chat, it says, "What do you think about putting money back into a meme that has already exploded, like the case of Pepe, Slap, or Doge?"
Yeah, I think Pepe and Doge could definitely continue to do well. Doge, especially, with Elon Musk shilling it, and that term, Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, coming up over and over in the media. I think there's definitely some juice left there. I don't know if you're gonna get the best multiple, but in terms of like a safe blue chip trade, Doge is definitely a good one to bet on to get over $1. And then it just depends, just on how crazy the cycle goes. Same thing for Pepe. I think Pepe is probably more interesting than Doge to me at this point, just because ETH has really started to make its move. It just literally just crossed 4K as we're streaming now, and
Yeah.
uh, Pepe is the best. Is looked at on by the market as the best beta to ETH. So I think it can do really well as well. Also maybe outperform Doge itself. And when those are two leaders in the market, and when Pepe and Doge do well, like the comparative valuations for other memes in the market also go up, right? So the ceiling goes up, and that in turn, brings out performance in some of the lower cap memes. But if you don't want to take the risk of like trying to pick a winner in the $1 billion range, and just want a safe like 5 to 10x on your money, I think Pepe and Doge could still represent good entries. Maybe just DCA on pullbacks, or when there's a breakout and a confirmed retest. But overall, definitely it's still bullish on those at this point in the cycle.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you. Just kind of quickly looking at Doge, we've had this in the group for quite some time. We wrote it all the way out from 15 cents all the way out to like 48 cents, right? So that's like a good 3x, almost 2.5x, right? But essentially, what we're doing here is we're respecting, this box here that I've made a while
Yeah.
back. So long as we don't break 35 cents, I'm still pretty bullish. This is the trend that we've been holding. So maybe wick down to here and then continue to the upside. In terms of what you said, I think Pepe is the right move. Doge for me in general, I mean, I could see us breaking the $1 region, right? Psychological levels. We're gonna want to go into price discovery for Doge, and then essentially what I can foresee for Doge is probably getting into the 180 to $2. So that's from here it's a 5x, right? So that's just
Yeah.
my take on this one. Again, as money is going to start flowing, possible Doge ETF, right? Then we have Musk on our side, and so it's just a lot of things that are looking bullish for Doge in general, right? And let's quickly look at Pepe. I think I like the Pepe thing that you've talked about. By the way, have you heard of Slap? I don't think I've heard of Slap.
No, this is a new one. I'll just pull that one up while you're looking at
Yeah,
Pepe.
yeah, do that. So then let's look at Pepe really quick. Um, I think it's a very good question too, right? But uh, if you want to keep it safe in general, then these are the ones that you want to take a look at. And look, we looked at Pepe a while ago, and this chart was saved, and we looked at it back in November. We did a nice little dip, and guess what? We pumped, yeah, about 200%. That's nuts. Literally to the first target that I had and to the second target that I had, right? So I mean, this is pretty crazy how this whole thing works. And would have positioned yourself down here or like just DCA'd around here. Same thing like we're talking about GOAT. That's a 200x, and if you're in leverage, you're baking up. But anyway, so then what's going to happen next for Pepe? Currently at 8.9 billion market cap, which it's pretty wild. But you know if I'm looking at this TA, we are looking really bullish for Pepe, just because we just did that retest of the top that we had back in May 27th of 2024, right? So it wouldn't surprise me if, yeah, we're looking like a shoulder, head and shoulder, almost like a flag, to then continue, right? Maybe come down here again and then rip, or maybe just rip from here. And then I'll give you another target. Yeah, I mean, looking to go into maybe, yeah, I mean, I've had this target in the past. That's wild. All right, I didn't even see this. But yeah, going into a 0.0004. I'm not sure what market cap that is, but
I mean, right
essentially,
now it's at almost a 9 billion market cap. So I think Pepe, by the end of the cycle, the crazy mania phase, I think realistically it could get to 40 billion to 100 billion market cap. It's anywhere
it wouldn't
there.
surprise me. Yeah, it wouldn't really surprise me at all if we do some insane numbers like that. But yeah, I mean, the idea of getting back into some of these memes that I've pumped, as back to the question, then yeah, it's a win-win. Were you able to find Pepe, by the way, or Slap?
Yeah. So this is definitely on more on the degen side. Uh,
Share
I'll
your
just go ahead
screen.
and share it here. So it's funny. This is one. It's the name is Pepe Slap Doge. So, and it's on Sui. I think, I mean, here you're definitely at a 20, at a 19K market cap. It went all the way to 130. Uh,
Yeah,
I would not be betting on this personally, because here,
yeah,
one thing about betting on new memes is derivatives. They can have an okay run, kind of like this one did from 20 to 150, which was great if you were along for the ride. But overall, you want to be betting on new stuff that's original. We're gonna get into what we like on Sui specifically. I mean, in terms of like just degenning and gambling a bit, you could try
like a double bottom
punting
there,
on
right?
this, but it's really no different from punting at the casino at this point,
Yeah.
unless you have like some specific insider information, some sort of edge, some catalyst is coming. I personally wouldn't be playing these. If you really want to degen on like stuff like this, I'd go to a site called Move Pump, and this is like the pump.fun of Sui. And yeah, I mean, I do some of this stuff too. It's but I don't go more than like $100, right? It's fun to turn $100 into 2,000, which I did on this thing called Seal Cat. uh, and basically we're just betting on the derivative of Seal Dog. So you know,
Yeah.
definitely on
So
the riskier, funner stuff, and but
yeah,
wouldn't bet large amounts on this kind of stuff. Is
yeah.
what I'd say.
So for example, like my take on Pepe Slab Doge, I think it would go great if it was on Solana or
Yeah,
like Solana or ETH maybe. But Sui is just it's very tough to get into Sui ecosystem, right? That would
yeah,
work. As I was looking at that chart, we were looking at a double bottom on Pepe Slab Doge. I mean, I would put small amounts. I wouldn't put in that much, to be honest with you.
yeah. If
So
you're gonna
yeah,
bet on it, like that's kind of the time to bet, or when it's picking up momentum. But you can see here, like, uh, if you go to the top, this is the top memes launched on Move Pump, right? And you have Seal Dog at 7 mil, 7.5 mil, Triple A Cat at 20 mil, and these are the highest market cap. Like that's the ceiling for your new meme to go, right? These are already pretty low market cap to bet on in the first place. So why not bet that a winner can stay winning rather than trying to catch the next big thing? I think your time is probably better spent
the
there,
top three, top
personally,
four. Yeah.
unless you have some sort of specific edge, as I mentioned. So, but yeah, talking while we're talking about Sui memes, we did mention the flows, and uh, we had a big move from both, you know, from Sui itself, and then uh, memes on Sui. One quick chart I want to show is the Sui Soul chart, which I think is really interesting. So you can see Sui has continued to make all-time highs. We've told you guys about this ecosystem to be paying attention here, and it's looking at like one of the big breakout leaders this cycle. Now, if you look at Sui versus Soul, it's come out of this huge, almost over a year long head and shoulders, right? So this is a Sui versus Soul chart. Basically, when this is going up, that means Sui outperforms Soul, and vice versa. This whole period that it was going down, it was underperforming Soul, right? So basically, what this chart is kind of telling us is that Sui is going to continue making new highs, new local highs versus Soul, which means Sui is going to be outperforming, right? It's starting to break out here, and I think if you look at it on a weekly, you'd want to see a weekly close, kind of how it is now. And yeah, looking super bullish. So continuing to bet on the Sui ecosystem. I think we've talked about our two favorites for a while. So I'll let you take over for those, Alex.
Sounds good. All right, so quickly, I do want to talk about our channel here. We've been giving you guys calls, I believe, since Sui was about like 180 or 150, right? And I did post this one out on November 27th, telling you that all right, we were just bouncing back and forth, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, and usually around the 6, 7, we tend to pump out, right? And this is in the 4-hour time frame, right? And that's what we had a week ago. And if we're looking at it today, you know we did that retest there, we went back and forth, we pumped up, that's where I showed it to you, we retested that breakout, and then we ripped to 450 approximately, and my target was about 460. But anyway, overall, it's mega bullish, right? Like we talked about it multiple times, Sui's here to stay. Wouldn't surprise me if Sui hits $20. I'm getting more and more bullish as time goes. And especially when alt season comes in, we probably will be making some higher highs. But what I'm looking right now for Sui is maybe a retest of this last top. And I say that similarly to this, and I just want to show it to you guys. What did we do for Pepe, right? We made higher highs, and we retested that last top, right? So a good entry we could maybe have, or we may not have, right, is this 395 $4 region, right? And then we just continue to rip from there. But looking at that bullishness in the bigger time frames, right? So I'm looking at the 5-day, we're still pretty bullish. Stochastics are turning. 3-day, we're looking very, very bullish. The daily starting to look a little bit weaker, but I'd like to see that retest here and then continue to the upside. That would be very ideal for Sui. And then let's go ahead and get into the meme section. Let's see. So I do want to look at one that came into my radar from my cousin actually. He was talking to me about lo-fi yesterday morning, and yesterday morning it did hit like the 26 region, right? The 27 million market cap region, and then it just ripped from there. But what I'm seeing for this one is, potentially adding here, and I circled this region, and then also the 786 from this pump to this high, right, which would be around here. And it actually kind of adds up. If Sui does take a dip, we maybe come down to here, and then from here we possibly continue to rip. This one's looking very strong. I'm looking at targets of maybe 75 million market cap. But yeah, very bullish on this one. I wouldn't mind DCAing into this. Let's see. But yeah, no, this one's looking really good. If we're looking at it in the smaller time frames, we did kind of hit the 618, and we want to continue to pump. Let me put the indicator here really quick. Sorry. All right, let's see what we got. Yeah, I mean, we could maybe not even come down here. We could just rip from here, right? The RSI is looking pretty bullish on all ends. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out on this one. We'll put it in the group. And yeah, we're looking for maybe higher highs. I know, Henry, you'd mentioned something about lo-fi, specifically on like the followers or something.
Yes, actually. So I looked at the followers, and actually one of the founders of Sui is following them. So that's pretty big, right? That I don't think I've seen that for any other Sui memes. And I think those guys, it looks very professional. It looks definitely doesn't look like it's their first rodeo. Everything from the content to the art, just the way they're operating tells me they're an experienced team. So I think also similar to you, looking for some pullbacks. I do just want to quickly look at the overall, just the overall bird's eye view of the Sui meme ecosystem, right? Because we really want to bet. The theme of today is betting on winners, and I want to see what's really taking the lead on Sui right now. So I'm gonna quickly share my screen here, and I have the Sui memes pulled up, and I think we've taken. It's no secret we've taken a big bet on SOG to be one of the leaders. If you look at the top memes by market cap here, and I have the whole Sui meme ecosystem is just tiny, right? I mean, 460 million compared to Solana's ecosystem, which is in the tens of billions. There's a lot of upside here, and there's a lot of money to be made in figuring out what's going to be a leader here. And if you look at all the top memes, like Hippo, like all these are like not real memes. I mean, they're meme coins, but they're like cartoon, like VC memes, right? Whereas AAA Cat and SOG, those are more memes like you see on Solana. And you can see on 7-day performance. So again, Sui had a big week. We want to see what's taking the lead here. You can see in terms of like stuff with a real market cap, I mean, SOG outperformed almost everything that's above 5 mil with an 80% move this week. And, you have some of these lower ones. These are, I would say, not established. Sonic, Snipebot, I think that's a Telegram bot. So,
Nice.
in terms of like bigger market cap memes, you can see here in the top 10, SOG is outperforming, showing leadership. So, and the other thing I wanted to, I'm not sure if I shared this on the Telegram channel. Do you remember, Alex, if I shared the image comparing AAA to SOG?
I think you did, and I also think we did it on the live. But yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I just want to quickly show you guys like these things kind of move in similar cycles, and I had drawn out this comparison of SOG versus AAA, right? And just the ranges that they formed are very similar. You can see here on the right, SOG, AAA, it first broke this $20 million mark underside retest, and then it's kind of ranged here, broke under, and reclaimed 10 million, and went on to make new highs at 30 million, right? And I think a similar cycle is playing out for SOG. And I shared this chart. I think I shared it in the Telegram when SOG was at 5 million, now it's at 7.6. And it's very similar to the way these things play out, guys. Like, it's not the exact same levels, but they are key psychological levels: 10 million, 5 million, push up, deviation, no acceptance, it breaks under, another deviation under the key psychological of 5. Once we reclaim this $5 million level, that's really bullish to me, because that's showing acceptance. Like, we found a new base, and the target is now changed from 5 million to 10 million, right? So I think this continues to push. We'll see how it reacts at 10 million, but definitely showing all the right signs of what you want to see, like in terms of a potential leader of the chain. And I just want to quickly look at how the holders are doing. I think when we first covered this thing, the holders were like less than 400, right? Right, Alex?
Yeah, in the beginning, I remember when I found this one, it was like around 500 holders, and it was below 1 million market cap, right?
Yeah. So this is something I've been checking periodically. This is Gecko Terminal, and you can see the holders are now at 4,500. So that's extremely bullish. Like, prices kind of went sideways, come down. Holders, on the other hand, continue going up. So whales are probably selling out, and you're getting more distribution. So definitely showing all the right signs of showing everything you want to see, right? And I think this breaks 10 million. If Sui continues to look bullish, this breaks 10 million and continues to run as it should.
Let me quickly just give a quick update on Sui as what we're looking at in terms of the trend. And one of the things that I've been looking at, that I've been essentially measuring, I was about to take some profits here at 6.6 million, but then I looked at this trend that we were building, right? And it's not done. We're respecting a trend, right? So overall, we're respecting the higher highs that we're making. And back to what you said, we reclaimed the 5 million market cap. I mean, then that essentially means that we double bottomed here and we're looking to go higher, right? So if you look at it in the bigger time frame, it's almost like a W pattern, right? 1, 2, right? And then if we start looking at our potential targets from top to bottom, I mean, and this is what I've already built, before. I mean, it's kind of the exact same thing we're looking at. We're looking at about 20 million market cap incoming in the, maybe in the next few weeks. But yeah, overall, very bullish. We are respecting trend, and it wouldn't surprise me, if we start seeing, all-time highs, in the next few weeks. But yeah, that's
one thing.
Go ahead.
Just one thing to add. Like, one thing that I really liked, I thought that was super bullish, is we're setting a new base almost every move. I mean, it's super volatile, right? Like, going from 10 million down to 5. But you can see, if you zoom out a little bit, the new floor is 3 million, right? And next time we retest, right, maybe the floor is only 5 million. That's kind of what you want to see, is like this stair step movement, like in between all the chop, is you're respecting the key psychological levels, which is 3 million, which was just respected in this last sell-off, and now 5 million. Eventually, once we get over to 20 or 15, you want to see 10 million respected, and that resistance becomes support. So that's kind of the cyclical nature. If you're looking to trade around or grow your position, or maybe looking when to take profit or when to enter, just keep an eye on those key psychological levels.
Yeah, perfect, spot on. Do we move on to what's next? What do we got?
I think that covers it. I don't know if we want to go into AAA. I think for me, my main meme bet on Sui is just SOG. I think SOG could do more multiples than any other meme on Sui.
Agreed. I would say, I mean, my intention has gone from SOG to Lo-Fi. I really like Lo-Fi, although it's like a higher market cap. But it just makes me bullish that the founders following them and they're doing a great job at it. I think you did say it's like the palm key of Sui, right? So I think that's a pretty good thesis, overall. But yeah, just kind of quickly looking at AAA. Honestly, it's looking really good. We are retesting. We did retest some lows here, and we respected this right here, this region. Overall, I think SOG took a lot from AAA Cat. Yeah, because if you think about it, both of those two are very strong coins in general. But maybe we could do like a double bottom here and then continue to the upside. But maybe like a slight pullback here, or maybe just a flag and then continue to the upside for AAA Cat. That's all I got for. I mean, if we're looking at it in the 3-day, this is actually looking really bullish, right? We're coming in with a lot of momentum. So one of the things to think about, I think, is possibly looking at some exchanges posting or putting up SOG or AAA. I think that would be a good catalyst, right, for these coins to pump, as we did have Hippo get posted, right, and I think FUD. But yeah, that's all I got for this one. You got anything to add?
Yeah. The other thing that I want to add about the SUI ecosystem is we just had Phantom
Oh
release
yeah, that's right.
a product, letting wallet users access SUI, right? And I really think, and they did the same thing for Base, I think a few weeks ago as well. And you have to keep in mind the user base that Phantom has. They're now one of the, I think, the most popular wallet, probably surpassing MetaMask, or they will soon if they haven't already. And when getting on a chain is as easy as like flipping a button on your wallet, that is super bullish for the chain. So, just going back to Base real quick, I'll quickly share my screen. I think that's been one of the main drivers. Obviously, the meta of AIs and capital shifting from, you can see a lot of these AI agents now are on Base as opposed to just on Solana. But a big part of that is also Phantom letting people access Base now on their wallets. So it's going to be great that you can do everything from one wallet, and it really, the fact they can pick anything in blockchain, and they pick SUI after Base basically tells me that's where they're seeing the next leg of growth from in terms of users and capital. So
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, so going back to the AI agents real quick, I did take a new year that I mentioned in the group on AIXBT, and it kind of had posted about this other coin that we'll probably look at called Bully. So basically, I think the framework that I'm using to look at these AI agents now is similar to meme coins, you're looking at holder growth, you're looking at price action, but also a lot of these meme coins are KOLs. A lot of these AI agents are KOLs themselves, right? And you can see there's a AI agent mindshare, and this one AIXBT, even though it's down, it has 15% mindshare, like more than the next three combined, right? Virtual, God, Goat, which is you can see here like double or triple its market cap if we rank it here by market cap. So I think AIXBT, the fact that it's leading in mindshare, it's got 18%, almost 20% of all mindshare. I think is a really good risk reward bet. So let me pull that one up here. And if you're not familiar with this one, basically, it's kind of become like an AI KOL or a normal crypto KOL that we see on crypto Twitter, right? But the difference is it's not only just good at getting engagement, it actually gives you a lot of alpha. Like I've personally been using it to find trade ideas. So right now,
you should post on the group, by the way.
What's that?
I'll post the website on the group.
Oh yes, okay, yeah. This website's called cookie.fun, and it has all the metrics you want to be tracking. If you want to find new launches, I think rather than shooting in the dark, you're looking at what's getting mindshare, what's getting engagement. This is like real metrics, real traction that shows like what's actually finding kind of product market fit, right? So this is the AIXBT Twitter, and it's crazy. It's every time I check, it's up like 10K followers, and it's almost at 100,000 followers here.
Jesus.
And I think when I first posted it in our Telegram group, it was around like 30K 10K followers or 20K followers. And you can see like it posts different tickers, right? I'll just give you guys an example here. Aave deposits hit 33 billion across 13 markets, larger than the 64th bank, biggest bank in the U.S. It's giving like real actionable alpha, and it's doing this. It can do this, I think, better than any human can because it's an AI. It runs 24/7. It doesn't need to eat. It doesn't need to sleep. It's just a machine plugged into like all the information networks, all the blockchain data, and yeah, this thing has been a breakout app. But I think if this had been on Solana, it would already be at a billion. I think the fact that it's on base, it's kind of been a slower cook. But the chart is looking extremely bullish. I mean, there's a lot going on here, but basically, the main thing I think to pay attention to is this 0.5 level here, 178 million, and also the psychological levels. Again, it's very simple: 200 million, 300 million. We rejected off 300 million, bounced off 200. Now we're looking to push to 300 again. So I think a tough time to find an entry here, maybe on a pullback on the upper 200s. But overall, I think definitely undervalued relative to its market share, relative to, I think this thing can get 200 to 300,000 users in a very short amount of time. So that's the thesis there. And I also think it's probably going to get listings. And on top of that, they're building like a trading terminal. You have to have a certain amount of tokens to access the terminal. So we've gone from AI meme coins now to AI utility coins disguised as meme coins. So I think this is one of the other leaders along with GOAT that would definitely be good to bet on. And any questions or anything to add there, Alex?
Yeah, no, I just want to something on this one. Really like this one a lot. Yeah, good movement. As always, look at that. We're retesting here, right? So we pumped, we retested here, we continue to go up. We got this nasty sell-off, probably a whale, and then we're coming back down into this trend, right? We're forming a trend here, and potentially going up to obviously higher highs. And it wouldn't surprise me if this one goes to 1 billion. It's just a matter of time. They did do a warm hole for Solana, so you could also buy on Solana, right? So it's overall it's sharing into base and Solana pumps. So it's looking good.
Yeah, and the next one I want to look at, and this is part of the virtuals ecosystem, right? If you guys remember, in some of our first streams we were charting virtuals and talking about the potential it had basically to become the pumped out fun of AI agents, right? So, but just quickly to show you guys, like GOAT, we know the all-time high was 1.3 billion. I think AIXBT, I think all this whole sector, it's only 6. Like I said, it could 10x, and there's going to be a lot. Just betting on the leaders is a great risk reward right now, I think. And you could also bet on something like virtuals, right? So this has kind of become the infrastructure for this whole renaissance, this breakout of AI agent applications, right? And even though it's on base, I think it kind of operates like its own L1 because you need every AI agent, like AIXBT, you need to launch it, you need to pair it with virtuals. So that's like a kind of like a supply shock. Every agent that comes out. There's also like revenue sharing. So I think this could be the breakout L1 type move, and it's already kind of started it. Yeah, I mean this triangle that we had over here is when we first started doing it. Unfortunately, I stopped tracking it, didn't position, but I think this thing could go to 10 billion, and I don't think that's too far fetched, and it's still looking super bullish. I did post in the Telegram group. I was looking for a retest of $1 or upper 120s maybe. I don't know if we're gonna get it, but definitely one of the stronger leaders to position in. What would be interested to see your TA for this one, Alex? Because I am trying to get an entry on this one.
Nice. All right. Let me. I mean, honestly, I can't believe we were looking at this one at like 50 million market or like 60, I think,
Yeah.
literally a few weeks ago, and then I just can't believe it just went that high. Holy shit! All right, in 2 weeks, it's nuts. All right, let me share my screen really quick. So
Also, just a heads up, I'm gonna need to cut. Need to head out in like 5-10 minutes.
sounds good, man. We'll do virtual, and then we'll talk about Pager really quick. All right, so
Right.
yeah, I mean, this is the time. I remember looking at it here in this flag. This is nuts, dude. All right, so we looked at it here, and I just ignored it for a few days, and then yeah, we that was a very rookie move of both of our parts. But if we pull a fib from the impulse to that higher high, uh, yeah, I mean, this has just looking at the it has a lot of momentum.
Yeah, it's I think it's the breakout
I
app
would,
right now of crypto.
yeah, yeah, really. I mean, I think what you just put out here was a really good one. I think you had this here. I just want to. I personally want to respect this there. I think that's very crucial for us to do is respect that trend, that upwards trend, which we kind of are. You know, we want to flip up to the upside here. Let me just zoom in. Yeah, I like this so far. It looks like we did something like this, right? And then we retest it, right? We went up, down, we broke out, we're retesting here, right? We kind of came in, and that's fine. And we're probably looking to go higher. So yeah, no, I think this is ready for the next leg. Uh, I would start DCAing on this one, but I wouldn't want to break this area here. Let's put a color in that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't want to break this yellow part here. If we do break it, let's just say big if, I want to see something like this, maybe.
are you breaking up or? Hmm.
All right, I think we had some issues there with the connection, but anyway, that's what we're looking at. I do want to go over one last one, um, or two more here. Yeah, my bad, man. I think there was a disruption on our connection. Did you hear that last part?
No, you
All
just
right.
talk about virtuals.
Yeah. Did you get to my double bottom part?
No, I mean that's what I'd be looking for. Obviously, I
Yeah.
think it's
I
tough
think we're
with
bullish right
these.
now.
It's tough with these that are like, so aggressively up, and you've already seen it so low. But you kind of just have to be patient. Either get in a small amount, be patient for the pullback. Like just like goat, like we thought that thing would never pull back, and now it did. Attention always shifts. Attention always rotates in the market, and I think AIXBT is still early. Like if virtuals goes higher, AIXBT should be good beta also.
Yeah, no, yeah, no. Back to this one. I like this one. Retest. We could pump from here. If not, we just double bottom. So yeah, I mean, I would have a stop
Yeah,
loss underneath 60. But yeah, that's what I
but
got for
this thing's
that. And then
going
we have
high.
to head out.
It's going over 5 billion at least, like easily.
Most likely, I agree with that one. And then one of the ones that I did post on our group chat was DGen. DGen has been, holding this right here, this blue line of like 1 cent, 1.5, I think 1.6. But anyway, we're gonna go higher for DGen. This is a base meme coin, and we are shifting into a shoulder, head, and shoulder, which this could have an explosive move, right? And again, we were at resistance here, we came down, now we're at support. And if we're looking at the stochastics and look, the daily's just about to start to rip. We move above the 21 MA, we're gonna see some colors. So this is a good play, a short-term play for 100% gain. Overall, I still think that, I gave you guys this one at around 1.0006. I still think we go back into all-time highs and possibly into, price discovery. So it's still a good time to DCA for DGen. The last one I was looking at was Maneki. Maneki is also looking really good on this, shoulder, head, and shoulder. You can look at it as a cup and handle, right? But essentially here, again, breaking out of this one, look at the RSI. MACD wants to move into the green region. Let's look at the daily. Daily's ready to pump. 5 days ready to pump as well. So overall, if I were to enter this one again, I maybe look for a double bottom into this yellow line, but I don't know if we'll get it. Overall, looking bullish, and those are the two that I'm looking at. I'll post this one into our group chat.
Yeah, so glad you brought up Manny.
I have one more. Quickly do Monk, Pedro, and then we'll move on. So Pedro, I put this one on the group chat. Here it is. So this one. $2.5 million market cap. Growers are, or holders are growing. So let's see how this one goes. But yeah, that's Maneki for you. I'm looking for this breakout here. We just made a flag, so this would be a good entry to continue to see a higher high, right? So maybe see something like this going into price discovery to about 6 million market cap. Yeah. So, but you said you wanted to add something for Maneki.
Yeah, and we meant to get to this on this stream, but we're probably gonna have to do it on another stream. Is Maneki? There's this market maker called Wintermute that was buying Maneki, and
Okay.
what this is like the blue chip, tier one winter market maker in crypto. And what I've noticed is that I've started tracking what they accumulate, and whenever they start accumulating like a big meme coin, it usually either gets a Binance or a Coinbase listing. So I think maybe for the next show we talk about some of the memes that they've been buying, because I don't know if you guys have seen, Coinbase has been listing a ton of memes now, and I don't think that's going to stop. And I think if you're able to position yourself in some of those memes before they list them, it can be a pretty easy trade for some pretty good gains. So we'll probably cover that on the next stream. We're also didn't get a chance to get into gaming, and personally, I'm going to be reviewing like the gaming sector and the meme coins and posting a bunch of setups in the Telegram chat as I'm doing that. So make sure you guys join and follow us. Follow me on Twitter at edgeventures _ and the Telegram link is there. But appreciate you guys tuning in, and yeah, good luck in altcoin season. This is it, guys. Lock in.
Have a good day, guys.